With Godzilla vs. Kong rolling right around this year, if we aren't decimated by World War III that is, I think it would be nice to cover something that involves giant monsters. And well, here we are. So, War of the Monsters, made by the now defunct Incognito Entertainment of Twisted Metal fame. It differentiates itself against Godzilla Unleashed by instead focusing on fast-paced action, as well as highly destructible environment that you can exploit against your enemies and vice versa. It was a game that I bought as a child, curiously, and basically my getaway into how I really like giant monsters and kaiju today. Well, aside from the other love of other kinds of things, but I digress. Story. The game is set in a specified modern time, although probably after the Second World War, as aliens began attacking Earth, but thanks to the efforts of almighty human science, they were defeated, and began to crash in the process with their monster energy fuel trademark Ulrex's server beginning to leak out to the environment. And just a side note, no, this video is not sponsored by Monster Energy Drink in any way, shape, or form. However, I do accept sponsors. And soon, monsters began rising out from the outbreak of this highly carbonated incident, either in sheer accident or due to humans' tendency to feed dogs chocolate, or simply out of curiosity. By the way, do not feed your dog chocolate. And it gave us the diverse cast of monsters for you to play out, such as Harambe the gorilla, who, after being resurrected by alien fuel, finds out his balls and sperm has been stolen, and roars out in rage-filled quest to retrieve his manhood. Notzilla, who woke up finding his home has been stained with all of this juice, and after a quick sip decided to go hoard all the carbonated goodness for himself. What about Cubhead, who is peacefully sleeping until some dighead decided to pour the fall onto his brain, disgusting him and setting him on a mission to clear the world of this devilish juice. And here we have Mighty Morphin Kamen Rider, activated by alien juice and with his newfound sentience, decided to indulge in his weeb fantasies by literally Naruto jumping out of the lab and probably carrying a katana around despite never actually using it. Alternatively, there is another ship that fell onto a volcano, and it woke up a guy within, Guy Hodman, with a penchant of flexing, decided to hoard more of these juices, after finding out that he became so swole after such a tiny amount of consumption. There's also this poor schmuck who got himself stained in the juice and then finds himself in a horrid workplace accident. Due to the lack of proper safety regulations and financial compensations, he would instead decide to mutate the ferocious, shockingly baller kinetic globs. There's the boring aliens, this one dragon. Oh, how about Miss Prater, who after being fed inflation juice by her master, decided to indulge in his flourish fantasy and decided to spread it to the others. Why the fuck did I write that? But of course, I saved the best for the last. Meet Robo-47, who got reactivated after a few sips to his systems, allowing him to drive himself back into battle. His reason? Very simple. He's eager to commit mortal war crimes by nuking everything on sight. What a altruistic fellow. Then again, who gives a shit about all that? You and I know what we're here for, not for some stupid governmental conspiracies. We're here to see monsters beat the shit out of each other. Gameplay. War of Monsters controls initially with tank controls, with the shoulder buttons used for strafing. However, pressing both at the same time locks you onto an opponent, allowing you to strafe on with your L stick. A very useful utility, especially since your opponent loves running away. And what did I mean by that? I mean they love ganging up on you, with the weakened monster retreating and the other went to the offensive to beat you to death. That aside, you have 4 main controls. X to jump, square to light punch, triangle to strong punch, and circle to grab and throw. If you have the special mode on, you can press the square and X or triangle and circle to do special attack. All square specials did the same shockwave bloods, but the triangle special is unique, dependent on what monster you play, and you will most likely use this one too. But back to what I've spoken before. If you're looking to be good at this game, you need to shape the shit out of this game. No. You need it, not just can. Because the game loves to play dirty against you. You need to play dirty against it. You need to outcheat it. And by the way, speaking about that cover is really inaccurate. It should have been that while the two monsters are fighting, that should have been one or other monster that will basically throw rocks at one of them. No, not at them, but one of them. Because that's how you're gonna experience this game. Oh wait, look, give me just a moment and... There we go. But what can you do to retaliate against this artificial menace? Well, simple really. See your enemy climbing up the building to grab a health item? Destroy the building and watch them tumble down before stealing it for yourself. See your enemy attempting to escape? Hoop them back in for an intimate beatdown. Shock them, spear them, face hug them, burn them, scream at them, bombard them, throw your exploding head at them, kick them out of down, burn them, nuke them, whatever cause your friends shoot them, I don't know! Either way, you don't give this game breathing room, because if you did, then it won't. That aside, if you'd rather experience the campaign of the story on your own, feel free to skip to the time provided here. In summary, you kick the shit out of the invasion away, along with the other monsters. The game begins with an angry Konga running around and showing what he could do. Scream at things, climb, and also throw things at other things. A nice little homage to the penultimate scene of the King Kong movie. But then there's you. You're here to beat the shit out of him, and you did. This level is more or less a tutorial that will attempt to teach you the most basics of the game. Then again, the game is simple, so it will be easy to grasp once you get the hang of it. Eventually, you'll find yourself in Area 51 for some reason, and you get to beat some ants. And what's this? A giant angry robot whose rotor blades should have not worked due to how close they were excited with each other. And he begins to throw bombs at you. Here's where the game starts to get a little lacking. The bosses are disappointing, often a little puzzly, or otherwise just isn't as intense as it should have been. Well, you'd find out why later. All you need to do is just throw his bombs back at him, and eventually he will tumble down. And is eager to fight you head on in close quarters. Don't. You see that big ass rock in one of the stone pillars? This guy is borderline impossible if you don't chase him. And you can absolutely chase him by throwing this rock back at his face. Over and over and over and over until eventually he tumbles down. The game will continue on to pit you on against multiple enemies at once. Even those that were initially shown to be fighting each other will begin to fight you together. But as long as you shoulder on and focus on a single monster one at a time, you'd eventually find yourself facing the second boss of the game. Well, at least not before you're pitted against a squad of kinetic clubs. That will be easy, but they're not the focus here. Well, they look like another beatdown match, right? Wrong! You're meant to destroy the nuclear reactors that were on the area. Stomp on them or generally smack them, and eventually all of them would explode. And you'd finally face the giant monster plant. which you do by continually strafing and dodging or blocking its projectiles and firing exploding things back to its mouth. Rinse and repeat, it dies. This is one of my most negative gripes about this game, the bosses. The two out of three of them were already disappointing. While they look imposing and threatening on their first encounter, the intimidation factor steeply wears down once you've done several playthroughs of this game and learn how to chase them out, which you will do by the way. Soon you'd find yourself fighting against two bootleg Ultra Feasts. And after a quick beatdown, suddenly your monster got beaten up and were kidnapped by three of aliens eager to poke you. You beat them down, escape, and you basically thwarted the invasion. Well, not really. There's one more threat for you to face. Meet Cerebron, and here comes the final boss. And you need to take cover in laser and then quickly pepper it with weak fires and ranged specials once its shield has worn down. Do that, rinse and repeat. Oh no. The second phase, as to be expected, the creature is now impervious to any source of harm and getting near it was a shock therapy. All you need to do is now just grab its pieces and throw it back at it, all the while hopping around in hopes you won't get close to it, eventually it breaks down. And so the creature crawls out of the hideous shell. As before, the game now throws a dirty trick by hitting a combat boss that you can just unlock. And there's no spears around, so what you gotta do with it? Run around, pepper range attacks and specials, and also throw things at it. Sure, you can try fighting it face to face if you don't care about having nearly half your health taken down in a single combo, to eventually you defeat it. And just a reminder, this is the same way you play the other monsters too. They all have the same campaign structure with the same campaign enemies and bosses. So there's little variety when it comes to the main adventure. So, what do I think of the game overall? Well, it was rough around the edges, and the controls a little clunky, and the boss fights were very disappointing. However, I do find enjoyment from it. Its combat is really fun, and even despite the horribly cheeky AI, This game is the perfect game to play with a friend. Watching the monsters outcheat each other in real life just quite experience. And it's also a blast to play despite its flaws. I will definitely recommend this game, especially if you're looking to build and earn friendships. You can get the game legitimately through the PlayStation 4 store, or alternatively, you can check out the links below, as I will provide my own emulator, which contains everything necessary to play the game, including my current save file as well as the ISO and BIOS to play the game, to get you immediately throwing spears and telephone flowers at your friend in Midtown Park. But isn't that illegal, you ask? Don't you need a legitimate BIOS that you should dump, as well as a legitimate DVD of a game, in order to get playing? No, don't worry about that. I just can't be fucked to tamper my broken PlayStation 2 and my old water monster disc. While still pirated by virtue of living in a pirate-heavy society in Indonesia, it still does work as intended. So this is totally legit. I simply consider yourself borrowing my PS2 permanently and we're good. So get out there, buddy, and crash down the tower to crush your enemy.